Do or die time. They've been here before 2 years ago against LA, and they managed to win the series. Can the orange and blue do it again? We get you set for Game 6 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Oil Stream pregame show presented by GCL Diesel. Tom Gazzola live on location at Hudson's West Edmonton Mall on Bourbon Street. Lots of tables reserved, lots of nervous energy, a lot of orange and blue getting set for what could be the last game of the Oilers season. A lot of people around here, I would say about 98% to 99%. Don't want that to happen. GCL Diesel, by the way, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialist and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. Matt Kassian will be joining us in a little bit. YouTube Trev holding things down back at EST Global HQ. And then we're going to hear from Irfan Gaffar, Canucks reporter, who has been with us for the majority of this second round series. Of course, we want to hear from you. Join the conversation. Get at us via the text line 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat on YouTube. Matthew Iwanek also here at Hudson's Bourbon Street. I think Lieutenant Eric is going to make an appearance. Iwanek and Jay Milne did a great job on the green and gold kickoff show earlier today from Elks Fan Day. It looked awesome. About 1,000 fans showed up on a cold, blustery day on this long weekend. So great to have the Elks content. Great to have the green and gold kickoff and post-game show on our station, continuing what we had back at 1260, just like this show. It wasn't the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show. It had a different name, but it was the Oilers pre- and post-game show, and we continue to build this bad boy up, and we can't do it without you, so we thank you to our listeners, whether it's via the EdmontonSportsTalk.com audio player, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or, of course, YouTube. We appreciate you. As always, it's been a fun season. It's been a fun year, and it's only ramping up over here at EST. All right, Vancouver leads this series 3-2. I'm going to start with the question of the night because we all know who the starting goalie for the Oilers is. If you haven't heard, if you've been under a rock all day, you've been off of social media, your neighbor hasn't told you, Stuart Skinner makes his return to the Oilers crease. Let me repeat that. Stuart Skinner makes his return to the Oilers crease. So with that being said, the question of the night is this. How much faith do you have in Stuart Skinner to deliver a solid performance in Game 6 tonight? Let's bring him, the kid. YouTube, Trev, get in here, pal. What say you? As always, you get first crack at the question of the night. Text us, of course, 780-218-9999, and then via the nasty chat as well. We'll keep an eye on those Canucks fans getting into the nasty. We're in on Hello Hockey, Trev, for crying out loud.
Well, I know. I was, monitoring the chat, and didn't have to kick anyone out, thankfully. For the most part, everyone was nice today, so that was nice. But, I'm sure the Canucks fans will be they'll be in there soon enough, Tommy. What a great day it's been. You just talked about it, the Elk screen. Yeah, that was good. I watched actually Maddie and Jay. That was fun. It was good. I stayed at the EST Global HQ all day today, Tommy.
Yes, you
prepping
did.
for tonight's game. And as far as the question of the night goes, how much faith do I have in Stuart Skinner?
Yeah,
I will say this. I wish I had more faith. I don't have the most faith in the world in Stuart Skinner. And I think a lot of people, for the most part, would agree. I think that's the consensus with a lot of the fans. And until he proves us otherwise, I'll start believing. I will say this, though, Tommy. In games where he has had stinkers, he's usually bounced back. So there is that. I'm trying to convince myself that he's going to have a really, really solid game. But a lot of it, Tommy, really just falls on like the team, which Oilers team is going to be playing in front of him tonight. Are you going to be getting the Oilers that we got so used to seeing near the end of the season, where they just played stellar in front of him? And large part to his play is when the Oilers are really, really good in front of him. So I will say I wish I had more faith in him. I'm questioning the decision to put him in net because And I'll talk on that when you head on down to the ice. I have my own little spiel that I want to get into, and I won't get into that quite yet. But but I am hoping. I don't have a lot of faith, but I am hoping that he has a great night because I want Game 7, baby, and I think a lot of other people do as well. But yeah, like I had mentioned, he usually does bounce back after he has an off night. So. Question of the night, definitely. I'm curious to hear what all the nasties have to say. Definitely text us as well.
Yeah, I agree, and I understand the concern, the skepticism, I think is another good word to use for Skinner going back in. I said it yesterday. I said it on the Hangout. I said it on Oil Stream. They're going to go back to Skinner. I think they're going back to Skinner. I'd be more inclined to go to Calvin Pickard. That's the safe play. But I also compared it to swinging for the fence with the 11 when you think you might have a chance. And if she says no, it's devastating. It crushes your ego. You're heartbroken, as opposed to going with old reliable, that soft 7 that's always good to you, but it's never the best night of your life. I know that's kind of a funny, silly analogy, but just at the time I thought of it. And I still feel the same way. But I think this is going to be Stuart Skinner's best game of the series. Not hard to accomplish considering his numbers in the series. Now, granted, his numbers in the series haven't been great overall in the playoffs. Not particularly fantastic. They're not going to wow you. He was solid in that series against the LA Kings. The Canucks are obviously a better team. But even in the games where he was bad in this series, which is essentially all of them, quote unquote, bad, they lost by 1. Right? And they won one of those as well. So it's not like he hasn't bounced back, like you mentioned. It's not like he's incapable of doing it. He needs to get himself out of a rut. He got to watch 2 games, and I think his high-end potential, if he plays lights out, could steal you a game. If by the end of the night we're talking about the Oilers losing and they lose like 5-2, something like that, the defensive side of the Canucks shines and keeps the Oilers to the perimeter and doesn't let them attack the house and penetrate the middle like it has and did, just especially in Game 5. And we're talking about a couple of stinkers that Skinner let in, then, the floodgates will open, and I totally understand. We'll wear egg on our face. I'll be like, well, I thought they were going to go with Skinner. They did go with Skinner, and it totally blew up in their face. And that could happen. That is a potential scenario that plays out. But I like this. He's supposed to be their guy. He's a young pro, and generally when he falters, the next time he gets an opportunity, he comes back much, much stronger and better. So he's had a chance to rest, recuperate, get his mind in the right place, and now he, like a dog on the bone, gets that chance to show that he is indeed the guy going forward for the Edmonton Oilers. Because if it doesn't happen and he plays bad, we're talking about what do you do with your goaltending next year? What do you do with your goaltending in the future? People will say, look at the window. It's closing. Oh, boy, Draisaitl's going to leave. McDavid's going to leave. We got to do something. Kenny Holland, you messed it up. And on and on and on. But if he plays good, forces a 7th game, and then who knows what happens in Game 7, I think some of that noise goes away. Don't get me wrong, Trev. Whenever this season ends for the Oilers, whether it's tonight, whether it's Monday, whether it's in the 3rd round, maybe it's the Stanley Cup final, it's possible. People will bring those things up because that's what happens in our neck of the woods. So with that being said, we went through it. Question of the night one more time. How much faith do you have in Stuart Skinner to deliver a solid performance in Game 6 tonight? I'm going to read out some lineup stuff for you, and then I'm going to get to some text. Then we're going to bring in Irf Gaffar, Canucks reporter and friend of EST. For the Oilers forward unit, we were told that Adam Henrique is not going to play. We don't know if Corey Perry will be playing. Maybe we see one Sam Gagner make his Oilers playoff debut, which I think might be a boost. Papa Oiler, as they like to call him affectionately, getting into a playoff game with the team that drafted, developed, had him on the team for 7 years, traded him, got him back, traded him, brought him back, and it would be fitting to see a boost from Sam Gagner. Anytime he's played this year, for the most part, especially in the first game or two, he has done something with the limited minutes he has been awarded. So I will update the lineups for you, or Trev will, when the teams hit the ice for warm-up. The Oilers, a very, very optional skate this morning, just a handful of guys. I think it was 4 skaters, both goalies went out for the morning skate. As for the Vancouver Canucks, it's expected that they will roll with the same lineup as game number 5, and you'll recall it was Elias Lindholm with Nils Höglander and Elias Pettersson. We'll ask Irf Gaffar about that line and the effectiveness of Pettersson, who has had his struggles this postseason. That line expected to stay together. JT Miller, Pius Suter, and Brock Besser are expected to stay together. That one has been an excellent line for the Canucks. JT Miller, an absolute beast in these playoffs for the Canucks and in this series, picking up the winner in Game 5 late in the third period. Teddy Bluger centering Dakota Joshua and Connor Garland, and then Niels Amon with Phil DiGiuseppe and Vasily Podkolzin. DiGiuseppe coming back to the lineup after the birth of his son, and also got emotional in the post-game interview, and I think it was a tough birth, if I remember what I read correctly about it. So he scored a big goal for the Canucks to tie it against the Oilers in Game 5, and that was a brain fart from Evan Bouchard, cutting to the middle, getting stripped of the puck from a dogged Canucks forecheck, and DiGiuseppe slipping it past one Calvin Pickard. On defense for Vancouver, Quinn Hughes with Philip Hronik, Carson Soucy with Tyler Myers, Nikita Zadorov with Ian Cole. If anything changes there, we will let you know. No Thatcher Demko. He skated again. He looked active. He faced shots, yada, yada, yada. He ain't playing in this series. Noah Juleson expected to be out. No Mark Friedman, no Sam Lafferty, no Ilya Mikheyev, and no Linus Karlsson expected. All right, starting goalies, like I mentioned, 25-year-old Stuart Skinner, 5-3 this postseason, 322 goals against average, 877 save percentage with 1 shutout in 8 playoff games. He is 10-9 all-time in the Stanley Cup playoffs over the course of his young career. 349 GAA, 881 save percentage, and that 1 shutout in 20 playoff appearances. The GAA save percentage, not particularly good. We acknowledge that wholeheartedly. For the Vancouver Canucks, no surprise there as well. 23-year-old Arturs Shilovs continues to play well, give them a chance to win, making the timely saves when needed. Not a ton of saves, but timely saves. Shilovs 5-3 with a 262 GAA, 907 save percentage in the last 2 games. We've seen those numbers improve for Shilovs, certainly. He's got the 1 shutout in the 8 games he has played in the playoffs. His record versus the Oilers in this series, obviously, 3-2, 316 goals against average, 891 save percentage in the 5 games that we have watched. All right, question of the night, one more time. Do or die time for the Oilers. How much faith do you have in Stu Skinner to deliver a solid performance in Game 6 tonight? Trev, keep an eye on the nasty chat. If you see some good ones, I'm going to dip into the inbox and see what we've gotten there. Jason in Leduc says, faith leads to disappointment. Also, this is the way I'm looking at this. If Skinner goes in and craps his pants, then he's done. He will be somewhere crapping his pants on the bench. Dex, you're crazy to say about a third-year goalie, maybe. Hontorio Momes texting in says, easy way to sum up this series. The Canucks floor has been higher than the Oilers. Oilers have led periods of utter domination, but give me a consistent Canucks B game over a varied Oilers playing at an A+ to D game. Shaggy in St. Albert. Let's go to Shaggy. He says, Oilers losing tonight. Oilers will start hot and score the first goal. Won't take advantage of any of the chances at the beginning of the game. Skinner will let in a questionable goal. Canucks will then take over the game, finish the series. McDavid is captain in name only. No leadership skills at all. Does not show up in big playoff games. Need to confirm that Skinner is not the playoff goalie. Will look for starter in offseason, and Skinner can be backup. Wow. Shaggy in St. Albert, noted Oilers fan. With that dagger, Barry the Cheater simply says, man, Vancouver fans annoy me. And, they could be something. And Irf, I think, told me that a lot of Oiler fans and Albertans have been sliding into his post-game show as well, getting in there, mucking it up. And the rivalry is alive and well. Trev, anything via the nasty chat in regard to the question of the night? You got anything there, pal?
Yeah, we got one from TJ here. He says, not sure why we're repeating the same mistake last year when we finally have a goalie playing plus 900. So a little bit interesting there. Interesting take.
I know a lot of people point to averages. Not a big averages guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll just say it.
No, that's fair.
Calvin Pickard has filled in admirably. He's been a good filler, but he's not the guy that's going to put you over the top, I don't think. That's just my take on it. I think you ride or die with your guy, and Stu Skinner was their guy all season long. Stu Skinner's supposed to be their guy going forward, and that's why they're going back to him, and they expect and anticipate him to bring his best performance of the season tonight. Simply put, if it doesn't happen, open up the floodgates of questions. A lot of them have already started to trickle in, and the trickle's continuing to grow. It's becoming a bit of a stream, and then the gates shall open, and the flood will come in if he does not perform well and loses this game number 6. All right. Keep those coming in. Question of the night, 780-218-9999, or via the nasty chat on our YouTube channel. How much faith do you have in Stu Skinner to deliver a solid performance in Game 6 tonight? We want to hear from you. It is the GCL Diesel pregame show, Oil Stream pregame show, live on location, Hudson's Bourbon Street at West Edmonton Mall. Cal in the Park and Sarah are here. Oh, they're the best. Nasties. Great to see them. And let's get into the Oilers locker room. Let's go to head coach Chris Knobloch.
To know kind of where your confidence level is at right now.
Confidence is high. We have a lot of faith in this team. We've bounced back after tough losses, and the other night wasn't our best performance, and we know we can be better.
The decision to go with Stuart Skinner, how much deliberation was there, and in the end, why are you choosing to go with Skinner?
We felt that it gives Stu had a couple days to reset, take some time away and evaluate his game and think about some things, but also spend some time with on the ice and working on getting back, finding his game. And we've seen Stu play unbelievable, really well for us, steal games, just solid, and he's been our guy all year. So in a situation like this, that's who we want in net.
Given how well Calvin had played for you, and you talked about it, how hard is it to not go with him in the same breath because he's played so well?
It is. He gave us every opportunity. Obviously, he did win us the game in his first game that he came in, and the second game, every opportunity. We were outplayed, and he making save after save. And, yeah, that's what we wanted from him, and that's what we expected from him. But in a situation like that, we're going with our number one guy.
Your guys looked a little tired in Game 5, especially in that second and third period. 2 days of kind of just being off the ice and kind of getting to reset. How big is that going into this game, and do you expect those energy levels to be back up?
Absolutely. We feel that other game wasn't our best, and we can do some things that, we'll have the puck a lot more. And when you don't have the puck, it looks like you're chasing all the time. So, yeah, we expect our players to execute better, have better legs. Ultimately, we'll put in a better performance.
In Game 4, it looked like you guys made a conscious effort of getting the puck to the net, shooting from whatever, when you got into the zone, take the shots. I think you guys maybe got a little bit away from that in Game 5, but is that something that you're looking at doing, is getting the puck to the net and then going to the net and trying to beat their big defensemen to the rebounds and things like that?
Well, you just see how so many goals are scored, and, even the game winner the other night in Vancouver, throwing a puck to the net and going off of some legs and bodies. The previous game, Game 4, Game 5, anytime you throw those pucks in there, you never know what's going to happen. Might go off stick, might bounce, goalie doesn't see it. It's important that you get bodies and pucks there, and yeah, we don't want to pass up opportunities that we can do that.
Chris, are you making any other lineup changes tonight?
There might be. We've got question marks just with an illness, and we'll make that decision on, we'll have an extra guy for warm-up, and then we'll be making that call, depending on how everyone's feeling.
Can I ask about Henry? Can he be a player for you tonight?
Adam will not be playing.
Won't.
Will not.
Okay. Is there any comfort in, and comfort's probably the wrong word, but being so close, being a shot away with not having your A game last game, can that help you at all going into tonight?
I think the comfort is on knowing what our team can do and how well we've played, and we just need to find our A game. The other night wasn't our A game, and Vancouver played really well, and we were able to stick around. But, to beat this team, we got to find our A game.
Corey Perry was out there for quite a while this morning. I'm not sure if he looked like he wouldn't be playing tonight based on the work he put in. I'm not sure if you can confirm that or not, but maybe just if that's the case, is Corey Perry a tough player to take out?
Corey would be a tough player to take out. His experience, we're talking about secondary goal scoring, he can provide that, and we do have a tough decision to make.
All right, that was Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch as his team gets set for Game 6. Do or die. It's the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel. As we get set to welcome in Irf Gaffar, Canucks reporter. I should mention that portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen on every weekday morning with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord, and then tune into Jess Jackson on your drive home from work every single day. All right, he has been with us all series long. It is Irf Gaffar. The Canucks have got the Oilers on the ropes, Irf. And when we look back at that Game 5 back at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, what were some of the things that stood out to you from what Vancouver was able to do to the Oilers to get the lead and put the Oilers on the ropes?
Well, if I'm Rick talking the Vancouver Canucks, the only thing I'm looking at from that game is the second period on, because the Canucks absolutely dominated in every facet of the game: offense, defense, special teams, the goaltender. That's the one thing that you look at, and if you're going to bottle up and look at it and show the players heading into this one, it's that period and the rest of the game. But this is a new game, right? This series has been all about adjustments, in between the two teams. Neither of these two teams lose 2 games in a row, so it's going to be an interesting one in Edmonton. The fourth one is always the hardest one to win. That's what they say in sports. And I, for the life of me, can't imagine that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are going to go out, not fighting.
Yeah. That's fair. I think we anticipate them both having a big performance. And Draisaitl and McDavid both over 1.5 in elimination games. I think Draisaitl's like 1.65 and McDavid's 1.5. That is first overall historically or all time, and third, Draisaitl leading the way there, and McDavid tied with Gilbert Perreault, the great Buffalo Sabre. Irf, there were some tweaks to the lineup for the Canucks in Game 5. We saw Elias Pettersson get paired up with Elias Lindholm and Nils Höglander. Did that spark him? Did that take away from Lindholm's former line? How did you see that working out?
I thought Pettersson was okay. I know the crowd was on him and cheering for him, and he got a couple of shots. He was noticeable, and I think that was one of the first things. That was one of the first things that, if you noticed watching that game, was you actually noticed him. And I think that in these playoffs, you didn't really. For Elias Lindholm, I mean, he still had a really good night, right? He gets an assist. He has, I think, 4 shots on net, 5 hits. He was good in the faceoff circle, so he basically carried that line. Nils Höglander hitting the post. It was harder to hit the post in that scenario than it was to score a goal.
Good point.
That's a tough one for them. But no lineup changes for the Vancouver Canucks, at least we know of. They're going to go with what got you there. I know there was a report out there that Ian Cole's battling a lower body injury, so that would make some sense as to his series and how it's gone so far. But look, this one's on the Oilers, right? I mean, The Canucks are playing with house money right now. And you go back to Game 7 on home ice, you'll probably take that twice on Sundays. So this one's all the pressure in the world's on Edmonton. So it's going to be exciting to see.
Hey, a lot of people have been getting at me, whether it's via Twitter or on our text line or the nasty chat, and they're like, hey, I keep hearing that the Oilers are dealing with a bug. And I'm like, yes, they are. But it's not just the Oilers dealing with a bug. The Canucks are too. Have you heard much about that?
I know they were dealing with a bug before Game 4. I'm not entirely sure if anything is continued on into here in Game 6. I think guys are pretty much okay. I mean, if they are, they're getting the treatment, they're getting the IVs, they're taking the time off the ice, they're doing exactly what they need to do to be ready for puck drop when it does drop in Edmonton. So I wouldn't be worried about guys being too tired or too sick. I mean, who knows? Someone might figure out after the game that someone was playing with a fever, and the flu game memes are going to go out like MJ. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens.
Canucks reporter Irf Gaffar with us as we get you set for Game 6 between the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. Edmonton do or die situation. If they lose, it's over. and let the process of breaking down the season begin. But if they win, we see Game 7 in Vancouver on Monday night. JT Miller, I think, has been excellent. I knew he would be a key going into this series. I said it off the hop. I thought Dakota Joshua could be kind of a quiet contributor or an unsung hero. He had a good start, like you alluded to, like he did against Nashville, and then kind of faded away as the series went on. But JT Miller continues to be just an absolute beast. That's one of the best things that Jim Rutherford did, is keep him. Because remember, there was trade talk swirling about JT Miller, and the way he's performed in this playoff series and these playoffs. How would you sum it up?
Well, and then people whined and moaned at the contract they gave him, right? So I think that when you look at it for a Canucks perspective, you got to give him his flowers. He's built for these moments. He's built for the playoffs. He doesn't back down. He scores big goals. His game isn't razzle dazzle. Maybe not so sexy as it is. You know, he doesn't have like the crazy skating ability like a guy like Connor or Leon does. But when JT's going, he's A, tough to play against, and B, comes up when you need him the most. And those two things combined are something the Canucks desperately need and that they don't really have from a lot of their other players. I mean, Elias Lindholm's been good. Nikita Zadorov as well. Quentin Hughes obviously a little bit quieter, but he's getting the big matchups, still playing a lot of minutes. But yeah, I mean, JT Miller, like I've said before, I think on this show and many other shows, he's the heartbeat of this Canucks team.
Yeah, certainly has proven that once again through 5 games in this series. All right, defensively, Irf, the Canucks have been really, really good. I think especially in front of their goaltender, Arturs Shilovs. Has it surprised you how good they have been in their own end? And I'm not just talking to the defensemen, too. Like, as a 5-man unit, they've defended much better than the Oilers have overall, and less brain farts, if you will.
Yeah, I think when you look at it, that's kind of been what they've been good at in the later stages of this season, is their team defense, right? Everyone's coming back. Everyone's, getting in on pucks. They're winning board battles. They're doing the things that you need to do to win. And when shots are taken, they're letting the goalie see the puck. And I think that that's an important thing. Shilovs is just 23 years old. He's having the time of his life right now, but he's got a ton of confidence. I mean, he's playing so well. He's calm, cool, and collected in the crease. And I think that that's a credit to guys in front of him as well. When they need to block shots, they will. But if shots are getting through, more chances than not, he is seeing the puck. The one knock on him, if you're the Oilers, is he's not good at long-range shots through traffic. It's been proven in this series, and that's the knock against him overall. So it's going to be fun to see what adjustment Knoblauch decides to make, but I can't imagine the Edmonton Oilers aren't going to be firing a billion pucks at this kid all night.
Irf, what little things will the Canucks have to do to close this thing out in Edmonton, in hostile territory, where Canucks and Oilers fans have gotten along swimmingly, might I add?
Yeah, I mean, take the crowd out of it, right? You weather the storm in the first 10 minutes. If you can get a goal early, all the pressure becomes on the Edmonton Oilers. They're fine in 1-goal games, though, Tommy. 9th straight game was a 1-goal game last game for the Vancouver Canucks, but this series has been just that, right? It's been back and forth. It's been one shot. Either way can tilt this series. So the Canucks are very much in this series in the driver's seat, but this series, to be completely honest, even though they're up 3-2, is far from over.
Yeah. So you're saying it goes 7? Is that what you're anticipating? A 1-goal game, Edmonton wins, it goes to 7 in Vancouver, then who knows what happens? Is that what you're saying, or if I'm putting the words in your mouth here?
I just can't imagine the Oilers are going to go away quiet. I can't imagine the power play goes 0 for 5 again. I can't imagine Connor McDavid isn't going to have a Connor McDavid type of game. I know there was another report out said that he was battling a minor injury, as was Zach Hyman, as is everyone during this time of the year, right? So you definitely have to look at that. But if I'm a betting man, I'm probably going to take the Oilers in this one on home ice and force a Game 7 are some of our 2 favorite words in sports, Tommy. So that'll be definitely a fun one. But it's going to be difficult, right? The Canucks are hard out. A lot of pundits had the Oilers in 6, the Oilers in 5. I had the Oilers in 6 on my predictions. And, I'm glad I got proved wrong, because this has been a hell of a series.
Hey, we've had a lot of viewers and listeners, I have to add, that have come in from your fine part of the world and our country. And I'm noticing a lot of 604s in our inbox. I'm noticing a lot of Canucks fans in the nasty chat on YouTube. Are they always like this, Irv? Can you please enlighten us a little bit more? Because some of them seem to take it just that one step too far.
Well, I mean, when you give them the outlet of nasty chat, what do you expect, Tommy?
Oh, they go all out on the nasty.
I will say this though. I do a post-game show here in Vancouver, and I
Yes.
see a lot of underscore Red Beer, underscore Canmore, underscore Calgary, underscore Alberta lover. So it definitely goes both ways.
You get some 403 and 780 and 587s in there, hey?
Yeah,
yeah.
People,
Do you have
people
to?
are having fun.
Are you booting them out the way we had to do it on Hello Hockey today? Hello Hockey is a show for everyone. It's not just an Edmonton show. It's on in Calgary. It's on in Vancouver. Like, are you guys kicking some of these people out from our fine part of the world and our fine province?
I don't see. I think the thing about us is we're on YouTube after, so I read and pick and choose what I want to read and see. And I've got people texting me as well, but I love the anarchy. Like,
Me
I'm
too.
about chaos. As long
Yeah.
as you just don't say dumb stuff, then it's fine. Generally, for the most part, if fans want to swear at each other and say whatever you want, do it. Just don't cross the line. And it's two fan bases that clearly are frustrated with, the way that things have gone over for the Canucks forever.
Yeah.
And for the Edmonton Oilers since Connor McDavid has arrived, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's well said. Have fun on the pre- and post-game show or the post-game show tonight, Irf. I know you're busy pre-game as well as hopping on here. And be nice to our people from our Alberta, because we try our best to be super nice to all the BC folks that pop into our chat conversations, whether it's on YouTube or in our inbox. Buddy, this has been great. I hope this isn't the last one that we do of this series. But if it is, I look forward to having you on the Oil Stream and Hello Hockey in the summer.
Absolutely. You got the gray window pane with the nice polka dot tie, solid white shirt.
Yeah.
I like it for Game 6, Tommy. I like it.
Thank
White
you.
pocket square, just a little cuff there. You look good, buddy.
I appreciate. I knew. See, a dapper man giving me props, buddy. And I appreciate it. I wish you were here. You would be all suited up too. All right, be good, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon.
All right, that's Irf Gaffar, Canucks reporter. Great stuff from him all series long. Time now to go inside the Canucks locker room. Let's go to head coach Rick Tocchet.
No.
With McKay, who was sort of skating with scratches today, is there an injury there, or is that a line?
No, he's a little banged up. Yeah.
Just in terms of closing the game out, or closing the series out, you guys lost with your first chance to eliminate Predators. Is there anything to draw from that experience?
Yeah, I think you can always have experiences that you can draw from. You try to give a little bit of wisdom, like guys like Footy and Gonch and Yosi, talk to certain guys. Like we talked to a few groups of guys. I think it's important that you share some stories in these kind of situations and how you deal with them. Because, but for me, it's always short term. It's like your first shift, I know it's a cliche, it's first period. You can't think of anything else. You start letting things in your head, then you start playing on your heels. You're watching, you're pausing. So I think you just got to worry about your first shift in the first period.
How much more difficult is this team to play here in this building?
Well, I just think they're difficult in general. I don't know the home record or road record. They're tough. They played well when they were in Vancouver. They won some. They had some games there where they won. They all played us. So I don't know. It's for me. Like I think I told 200 by 80. Whether they cheer you or boo you, it shouldn't affect you. It really shouldn't.
What are you expecting from Connor? I mean, it's been quiet for him for 3 games in terms of his effort level against you guys.
Same as always. Full blast. Wants the puck. He's going to have the puck a lot. He's an outstanding player. You always expect the best. And, as he's been in the league, I mean, he doesn't give you many bad games, I'll tell you that. That's why he's one of the best players.
What do you think of how's your team done with the physical balance in this series? Have they been as physical as you would have liked them to? And do you feel like it's starting to potentially have an effect here deep in the series, that kind of investment?
I thought last game I liked our physicality. It was a smart physicality. I think sometimes people get confused with, I hate players that run around for the sake of running around. You got to be smart the way you hit. They got some players, you hit them on the wrong way, they bounce back. It's happened through the series. You try to kill a guy, he's by you, they got 4 on the attack. So you got to be calculated the way you you attack that and be aggressive. But aggressive doesn't mean just hitting, it's just time and space.
Their power play generally doesn't go quiet for too long. They clearly make adjustments. Is there any way to get ahead of those adjustments, or how do you prepare for a power play that you know is going to throw some different stuff at you?
Yeah, I think there's some trigger points when to pressure and when not to. And we hit them pretty good last game. They still had some looks. You know, you got to be careful though when you're too aggressive because they'll burn you. So it's a lot of, like, I don't know, last game we gave some players like Dak and guys that haven't played a lot of playoff games experience going against a top power play. And now he felt it a little bit, you know. He's in this series, I'm just using him as an example, an inexperienced guy when it comes to that. So hopefully he can draw from last game and kind of have some reads that help him out, where, you know, he's not over aggressive, because we want an aggressive mindset, but we don't want to be out of control. And I think there's a sweet spot there that you got to try to find, and that comes with experience.
All right, that was Canucks head coach Rick Tocchet as his team prepares for Game 6. They've got the Oilers on the ropes. If they win tonight, it's over. Canucks have had a very, very good season, very consistent for the majority of the year, and that has continued in the postseason. Absolutely. We will see if the trend of win one, lose one continues tonight. That has been the case for the first 5 games. And I don't think the Oilers want to lose on home ice. So I expect a much better performance overall from the guys in orange and blue rather than the guys in green and blue and white with the killer whale on the front. All right. Text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat. I've had to time out somebody. Ooh, people are being dumb. They're going to get a timeout. I have no qualms doing it if you're not contributing good stuff to the nasty chat. Dusty's in there as well with his cargo shorts on. Doesn't like my tie. I don't care. That's fine, Dusty. Question of the night one more time. I'll throw it out there for everybody. You can text us 780-218-9999 and then get in the nasty chat if Canucks fans and Oilers fans aren't just fighting with one another and saying dumb stuff. Question of the night is this: how much faith do you have in Stuart Skinner to deliver a solid performance in Game 6 tonight? Let's bring in the big man. He is our game analyst. He is Matt Kassian, and it is Game Changers, brought to you as always by Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent, top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass, what's going on? How's your day going?
It's good. It's good, Tommy. I'm ready for this here. I'm ready for this. This is a big one. This is a big one. Clearly, obviously, it's huge. Yeah, it's a huge one. Tommy, I'm good. I saw some of the guys at the grocery store today. They're rocking their Oilers jerseys, and I asked them how stressed they were, and they both just kind of stared at me and went, "Yep." That was their answer, and I was like, "Yeah, well, guys, try to hold on here." And I kind of feel that's a good portion of the city today, Tom. We're all holding our breaths. With that being said, we knew it was going to be a long series. So did the Oilers. So there's still hope, Tom. Well, this game is going, and until the final buzzer, there is hope, and there may still be hope after that final buzzer go, depending on the outcome of the game.
All right. Let's get into Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting, RE/MAX Elite. Usually it's 3 bullet points. Tonight it's 1.
Just one.
And Cass, today you want to talk about win, baby. Win.
Win, baby, win. That's all you got to do. I mean, your power play's got to be good. Your penalty kills got to be good. Your best players have to be your best players tonight. Stuart Skinner back in the net. I know Chief Andy is already saying I'm just wearing my Skinner grin ear to ear. I think it's the right decision, Tom, in my opinion. I know the question of the night is how much faith do you have in Stuart Skinner going back in between the pipes? I might be paraphrasing there a little bit.
No, that's pretty much it. Yep.
Pretty much it. Gives the gist of it. And I do have confidence in them. I know there's people and they're throwing in there, the numbers don't lie. It's like, well, yeah, numbers don't lie when you give 40 goal scorers breakaways consistently during a game. Yeah, goalie's not going to stop all those. I know the numbers haven't been great, and he hasn't been perfect this series, but I have confidence in Stuart Skinner. I have said that from the start of the series. I'm going to maintain it heading into tonight for Stuart Skinner. But Tom, the bottom line It's an elimination game, and you got to go out and you got to win. I was watching, and I don't know if you had a chance to watch the Dallas, Colorado, and I fell asleep before the end of it, but I was tired. I was a tired little guy. But the Dallas, Colorado game, that was playoff desperate hockey from both teams, and I still don't think Edmonton has hit that level yet. Like, they haven't quite hit that level yet. And if you can't do it tonight, I mean, you got to check your pulse. I mean, it's an elimination game. You're on home ice. You have to find a way, Tom. You have to find a way. You have to do whatever it takes. Bouchard can't have those little hiccups or big hiccups in his game. Darnell Nurse has to be solid. Cody Ceci has to be solid. Ekholm has to continue to do what he's doing. Bouchard, outside of the, stop that one big giveaway that he had, he needs to keep playing how he has played for a vast majority of the playoffs, which is very, very good. Draisaitl's got to carry. McDavid has to carry tonight, Tommy. He hasn't won this team a game yet. In this series, he needs to win them a game tonight.
Cass, I made the analogy that, and this was yesterday, I'll continue it, I'll bounce it off of you, obviously, but I was like, going back to Stuart Skinner is like, instead of Calvin Pickard, is like thinking you've got a shot with the 11 out of 10, asking her to the dance. She's kind of flirted with you. You really like her. And if you ask her and she says no, it's going to break your heart. Your ego's gone. You're shattered. But if she says yes, it's the best night of your life.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you went to Calvin Pickard, it's like you got the soft 7 that's always there for you and never saying no. That's the
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that,
Tommy?
All right.
I don't agree with that. And I don't necessarily like that analogy because
okay, fine. That's why I bounced it off you.
That's fine. And you know what? You're welcome. And people that agree with it, you're welcome to think that and think you kind of have that feeling if that's your feeling. But to me, that's not. I can't bite on that because I'm like, okay, to me, it's like if we're doing the whole dating thing. It's like Skinner's been your steady, right? And it's like, Pickard is like, well, he's your buddy and he's always good to go hang out. When your steady's not around, it's been good. Yeah. Fun time. Go hang out, have some fun. But Skinner's been the go-to all year long.
Right.
Right. And so would you, the big dance is now here. Are you going to go hang out with your buddy? Or are you going to go with your steady to the dance? Like, to me, that's the situation. Like, if they go in tonight, and if you put in Stuart Skinner, and Stuart Skinner doesn't play well, and you lose, you're going to be upset. You're going to take flack for it. But if you put in Pickard, and Pickard doesn't play well, and you lose, that's even worse. Yeah, that's even worse. Like, to me, Skinner's your guy. He's your guy going forward. You put him back in. And you roll with it. Someone was in the nasty chat. I can't remember who said that. Ross Creek Nasty said, you can't lose out with Calvin Pickard. That would haunt you forever. And it would. Yeah. It would. To me, it would. Like, if you put in Pickard and he didn't play well, that would haunt me forever. And I know people would probably throw back and say, well, the same thing about Stuart Skinner. And fair, fine. You can feel that. But yeah, I think you go back to Skinner. I think you go back to him. So that's me.
All right. Well, they are going back to him. So I like, by the way, if you're looking at it from girl chasing guy, same thing, soft 7 or an 11 out of 10. It applies to both. So there you go. 780-218-9999 or get at us in the nasty chat. We'll see if the payoff is there for the Oilers going to Stuart Skinner tonight. All right, what else has to happen, Cass? Because you talked about the brain farts defensively. What do you anticipate from McDavid and Draisaitl? People say, oh, these guys are sick, but I know the Canucks were dealing with an illness as well. What has to happen? What are you expecting from those guys who are good in elimination games, putting up nice, solid numbers?
Yeah, sick or not, you got to find a way to win. Everybody's dealing with something. Everybody's dealing with bumps and bruises and aches and pains at this point in the season and at this point in the playoffs. Like, no one's going to be 100%. Really, they're not. They're not. So, what do you need from them? You need them to go play. You need your power play to be aggressive. And Tocchet, I thought, summed it up well, in that Vancouver did a really good job of pushing at appropriate times to force them. But Edmonton also did a very poor job of moving the puck when Vancouver would push. They did not execute well on their power play. If you get power play opportunities, your power play has to be lights out dangerous tonight.
Right.
And then 5-on-5, McDavid, you have to find a way to create some space. Same with Draisaitl. You have to find a way to create some space. And the players that are playing with both of those guys, you have to find ways to get to the net. Get the puck to the net. I don't care that it's going to hurt a little bit if Zadorov gives you a cross check on the way in or JT Miller gives you a shot in the back. You got to deal with it. And you got to get there. You got to do whatever it takes, Tommy. You got to McDavid, Draisaitl, everybody. I mean, it's the same mentality everybody needs. It's whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Tommy, because how does the phrase go? Last game of the playoffs, Tom. Nothing left to save it for. Like,
no.
There's no tomorrow if you lose this game. So might as well lay it on the line.
Cass, a lot of people you can tell from some of our regulars that have been with us all season long the tension the frayed nerves that they're feeling. Let's go to a couple of nasty chats. Smitty the Welder, who's been with us since the beginning, says, Cass, you keep saying playoffs are a different beast. Stop saying Skinner was great in the regular season. It means nothing. TWPG 204 says they're going for the Hail Mary. Jaunty in Victoria says KK never calls out anyone. There are several Oilers who need to be threatened. Cass, go threaten and impose your physical will on some Oilers. Why don't you? Some stranger says Skinner might surprise us tonight. You never know. And Jayanon says, but Pickard won't play bad. And T-Man says, he beat LA 1-0. He's okay every 7 games in talking about Stuart Skinner. And then Easy E says, Kaz has no not so secret love affair with Stu Skinner. Cass, like I know people, that's the beauty of what we do, but Skinner's the better goalie. Pickard was good in the last 2 games, but Stu Skinner is the better goalie. End of conversation. Hasn't been in this series.
And that's why I'm putting Skinner in tonight.
Yeah.
That's why I do it. Again, not everyone agrees with me.
That's fine. I'm with you on the Skinner is a better goalie. So
yeah.
All right. You've played in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You know what it's like to beat a team. You know what it's like to face elimination. What's going through these guys' collective minds right now? How are they preparing themselves? How nerve-wracking is it from a player standpoint? How do you keep the noise out?
A lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure you're dealing with, and it is difficult to shut your brain off and to not think of the what ifs of the past 5 games at this point. Like, and that's probably the toughest thing is you're going through all the we were up. If I just did this different in that game, if game 1 I did this different. If game 2 I did that different. If game 3 we did this different. Like you really have to work at getting that noise out of your head. And that can be difficult to do. Now, on the flip side, Tom, for a team that's trying to close someone out, it's the same thing where you have a lot of noise, except it's, different in that it's like, oh, if I only did that different or this different, but it's, I need to make sure to do this, or, I need to make sure to do that. Like it's a different type of nerves, but it's still an intense, insane amount of pressure that you're under. So really you're just trying to quiet yourself. There's a lot of guys, a lot of players in the NHL are superstitious. There's a lot that are a little stitious.
Yes.
But pretty much everyone is routine oriented. And that's what I call, because it's not like, I've told people this before, I say it all the time. I'm not like, if I put my left shin pad on before my right, that means I'm going to have a bad game. I didn't buy into that from a stitious mentality, but from a mental standpoint of clearing my head, getting ready, trying to quiet some of that noise. It's like, if I put my left shin pad on before my right shin pad, I just feel good when I do that. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do my routine because it just helps me mentally clear my head, get to a place I need to. I'd have my, I call it, it's aggressive worship. That's what I listen to. So it's I like death metal, but not about death. It's different stuff, but it's like I listen to my heavy rock, my loud music. What a
dichotomy.
Yeah, hey, I don't think it is at all, but that's me. It's a passionate thing, right, Tom? It's
I get it.
So sometimes when you're passionate, you do things loudly, and that's what that music is. And
I love it.
For me, it was another way just to clear my head and to focus up, and that's what guys are going to be doing. You're trying to quiet the noise. feel the energy at the same time, not squeeze your stick, but also realize the gravity of the moment in the situation. And so it's just such a weird conflagration. I don't know how that word goes. It's like a convergence of all these things and all these pressures all at once.
Gotcha.
And it's a unique feeling, I tell you that much. And for me, then I know there's been talk at some point, not so much with the NHL, but people like, oh, do we really need national anthems? I'm like, that would be the worst. I would hate not having those, because to me it was like that was the icing on the cake to just completely shut your brain down, because with all the pressures, with everything, Tom, it's still a game of hockey.
Yep.
It's still a game of hockey. You still have to go out and do the same things. You still have to go out and make your plays. You still have to go out and execute. And that the anthem for me, that was it, right? That was that last moment, because that's the same. No matter how much stuff changes every single time, those are the same. Different people singing them, same words, same thing every single time. And it's just like that last little bit of preparation and mental clarity before going out and going to war. And tonight, Tommy, it's got to be a war. It's got to be a battle, and you got to go win it.
Before I go into some text, I have a question about the anthem. Did some of your former teammates ever sing the anthem? Did you ever catch them?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
I'd sing it. Not loudly.
Really?
Quietly. Yep. Quietly.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely, I would. Hey, I mean, listen.
That's a good song.
I don't think Canada's perfect. We're not.
It's a good song. I like that song.
But I for one am proud of where I'm from. I'm proud of my country, and for me, it was an important part of it. I mean, it's part of who you are. It's part of who we are, and so I sung it again, not loud. I wasn't yelling it, wasn't screaming it. But yeah, I would sing it quietly. So yeah, there's other guys that would too, and good for them.
I'll be honest.
Has to, that's fine.
I love it when they catch a guy on the camera and he's just singing away, just lost in the moment. It's beautiful.
Yep.
I like that song. I always say it whenever it is sung at games, and I make it in time for the national anthem. One anthem night yet again. Oilers Canucks Game 6. Oilers on the verge of elimination. Vancouver looking to end Edmonton's season. Edmonton looking to push this one to 7 in Vancouver on Monday night. All right, Cass, I'm going to go to some texts. I want to get your opinion on some of these. Stuart P. says, tonight is the night Skinner comes out and steps up huge, cementing the start of a legacy. Jocelyn wants to know, Cass, is Skinner going to be on a short leash if he lets a few soft ones in? Go for it.
Yeah, if they're soft, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If they're soft, yeah, most likely. You would think that the leash would be short, but let's just hope there's no soft ones. Then you don't have to worry about it.
There you go. Andrea says, watching the game from Smoky Lake tonight. Sad we're missing Hudson's. Andrea, we miss you here. Say hi to Jay for us. And Sean says, Tommy, have you ever put anyone in timeout if they happen to be there at Hudson's pregame show? Yes, Sean, absolutely. We put a few people into timeout.
Timeout is good. I like calling it YouTube jail, like straight to jail. Like,
yeah.
Go to jail. You're in jail.
Oh, God, that's funny.
And then you could have maybe if you come to a live location, you get a get out of jail free card. Like if you come and plead your case, we'll let you out.
Yeah.
It's great.
Sean Z says, Jordy Mack and I will be eating our donaires in a super nervous manner this evening. Thank you, Sean Z. Jordy Mack making an appearance on the Green and Gold show today, which was excellent. The boys down at Clark Stadium. Did you see your dad? Did you talk to Chappie? Was he there for Fan Day?
I haven't had a chance to see him. I'm assuming he was, but we haven't had a chance to talk today. Yep.
All right. Cass, some final thoughts from you as we do what could be the final game changers, hopefully not, of the season, as Edmonton looks to stave off elimination.
Yep. Well, you've got about 33 minutes, a little bit more, I guess, till actual puck drop. So, you know what? Panic for the next 35 minutes.
Sure.
And then take a deep breath. When that anthem goes, I hope you all sing along, or at least mouth the words and let that emotion fill you a little bit. Then take a deep breath, keep calm, and watch some hockey and have some fun, because, Tommy, it's going to be emotional either way tonight. And that's one of the beautiful things about this game and about sports is there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people at the game and at their houses and out at restaurants or different establishments like Hudson's on White, enjoying this. and feeling the ups and the downs, the joy and the sorrow, and then the joy and the sorrow inside of a game, because that happens inside of a game too. And just enjoy it. Just enjoy it. So for all of our people that have been here for the ride thus far, we're happy you're here. Sorry if we had to put you in jail. You probably deserved it. Maybe we'll let you out another time. And just enjoy it, Tom, because it's going to be fun.
I love it. This is what it's all about. Do or die time. And like you said, Cass, win, baby, win. Fantastic stuff as always, my friend. I look forward to talking to you on the post-game show, regardless of the Oilers win or if they lose the series and the season. Good stuff, my friend.
Absolutely, buddy. I look forward to it too. So we'll talk soon.
That is Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. Excellent work, Matt Kassian, all season long, our game analyst. Love it. Guy has a great perspective on things, and that's why he's one of the best, and we're lucky to have him. Let's get YouTube Trev back in here. Trev, have you seen anything on X, Twitter? I know the teams aren't necessarily on the ice just yet for warm-up. The Oilers probably going to have a couple extra guys out there just in case someone can't go. But what's the vibe you're feeling from all of the viewers and listeners? Good audience today on the YouTube side of things.
Solid
and
numbers.
Then audio listenership is always really, really good.
Yeah. I can confirm that nothing has been posted yet. So
thank you.
We will definitely keep an eye out on that. But yeah, the vibes are high. Everyone seems to be, for the most part, in a okay mood. There was some people spamming the chat. That's immediate jail time, so we will put you in jail, YouTube jail. I like that. I think that should stick, what Cass was saying. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, everything was going good on my side of things. Tommy?
I like it. Let's keep rolling on here on the GCL Diesel pregame show. Tom Gazzola, YouTube Trev with you. I am live on location, Hudson's, Bourbon Street, West Edmonton Mall. And GCL Diesel, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show. We really have enjoyed having them on board this year. A new partnership. It's been great. GCL Diesel, if you're wondering, specializes in giving your diesel engine's heart a second wind. We test and remanufacture fuel injectors, pumps, and turbos for a wide range of applications, breathing new life into vital components. GCL Diesel, your presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream pre- and post-game show. All right, we can go into what? You want to go back to the Oilers locker room? I think it would be good to hear from Stuart Skinner, Trev, if that's cool. We could do that, hey?
Yep, yeah, let's do it. Stuart Skinner is locked and loaded, and yeah, let's hear from him now.
How were the last few days for you? They're great. Got some work in, some solid practices, and got to watch Calvin do his thing. It's been good.
This is it's a big game, Stu. How excited are you to get tapped for this one? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm very excited to get back in the net. I'm excited to get to do my job again.
How did you find Calvin's work?
Amazing. He was incredible. He got the job done when he was asked to get put in, and he's been doing that all year for us.
Stu, how tough was it to watch those games from the side?
Yeah, like it was tough just because you want to be in there. But at the same time, I was just ecstatic for Calvin. He played incredible. The guys played really well. He got us, tied at 2, and he got his job done.
You're a strong goalie mentally, and you're always sort of trying to improve in that area. At least that's what you say to us. How hard was it, or was it hard to go through what you went through? You're starting, then you weren't playing. Now you're coming back. How difficult is all that?
Yeah, any type of situation like that, it's difficult, and it's my job. Again, like I've been working on my mental game, just like what you said, for a long time here, and just another experience where I got to work on some more stuff mentally. So being able to kind of throw that frustration down and just be the best teammate that I could possibly be. Had a lot of fun, was able to get my work in, like I said, so really good for me.
What are the things, sorry, Gemma, what are the things, like when we think of the goals in the last game, they were some pretty small margins. What things do you work on to eliminate that margin?
Like on myself or on Calvin?
Like to keep I'm talking about goals that went in on you.
Yeah.
You've worked on things. What do you work on to not let the goals go in next time?
Yeah, a lot of it was just strictly competitiveness. I think these guys, they go to the net hard. They always got two guys in front of the net that just like really just battle in front. So, it's my job to push back a bit.
There are a lot of other guys in this room who've weathered ups and downs throughout their careers. Did anyone say anything to you to kind of help you weather this?
Yeah. I think, not that I think. I know a lot of guys came up to me and just gave me their support, and they all told me that I'll get back into the cage at some point here, and that obviously I'm a really important piece of this. So not getting too down on myself and just really, taking this as an opportunity to get better and work on my game and take some time off.
All right, there's Stuart Skinner, your starter for the Oilers. In Game 6, he has had a front row seat to watching Calvin Pickard do a good job for Edmonton in the last two games, picking up a win and then dropping the 3-2 decision late in the game in Vancouver in game number 5. So Skinner gets the nod tonight for the Oilers. It might have some people a little bit apprehensive. It probably has a bunch of Oilers fans a lot apprehensive given Stuart Skinner's numbers this series. The postseason, if you go back to the Kings series, he was good in the Kings series. A lot of people have overlooked that, but where it counts most, and that's keeping this season going, he has struggled in the last week and a half. No denying that. Looking to atone for his last performance, and we'll see if he can make that happen. Trev, what did you make of Skinner and his body language there?
Yeah, I was actually, I really like what he said, and I think that's big for Stuart Skinner when asked what it's like, being called upon tonight. He says that he's excited. Like, I'm happy to be in. And I feel like most people, Tommy, like I know me after having, if I was in Skinner's position, north of like all of Edmonton, cheering your name, cheering for you, but that's a lot of pressure. He's not shying away from the pressure. He's not. He wants to be in net. I love that. That's huge. That tells me his confidence is still there, and like he's not shying away from the moment, Tommy. Like he still wants to be the guy. If he was like, obviously he's not going to say like, oh no, like I don't want. But just from we've been seeing what he's. We know what he's like. We've been watching it all year long, and I just his confidence is sky high right now. It'll only be a matter of time to see like how he is on ice, but I think that was huge.
The confidence thing, I don't know. Like I wouldn't say me personally to his situation right now, Trev. I don't know if it's sky high, but I think he's gonna play a bit angry, and he's gonna have that extra fire within him. You know what I mean? The determination to quiet the naysayers. That's where I think his motivation is going to come from. That's where it's deeply rooted, obviously, in this one. He prides himself on being the starting netminder for this Oilers team. He prides himself on trying to climb into the upper echelon of NHL starters. Is he there yet? No. Answer is no. He's only in his second full NHL season, but has he at times shown that he can do it? The answer is yes. Does it take a good team in front of him to make that happen? Of course. And it's like that for pretty much every NHL goalie, and especially some of the best. I mean, you're not going to win with just your goalie. Dominik Hasek was great, but he was on some mediocre Buffalo teams that would make the playoffs and be done pretty quickly. Because despite how good he is, you need a good team in front of you. And when they finally put together a good team in front of them, they made it to the Stanley Cup final. They were one of the best teams in the league. Marty Brodeur, one of the best, if not the best goalie of all time, had a system, had guys who could execute that system. And then when there were opportunities against him, he made the big save when he had to. He did score a couple of goals. Credit to him. Patrick Waugh, when Montreal was awful in 95, 96, I think even 93, 94, they had their struggles after they won the Cup in 93. He looked pedestrian with an awful Montreal Canadiens team. Gets traded to the Avalanche. They had a great team that came over from Quebec. And by the way, you get this superstar goalie. He puts you over the top. So it's a little bit of a symbiotic relationship. We've seen it historically. The Oilers have a good team most nights. They need a good goalie. Most nights this year, they've gotten a good goalie or performance from their goaltender, and that usually was Stuart Skinner. They need both the team and the goaltender to be going to have success against the Vancouver Canucks team that has been executing its game plan very, very well all series long. And then on top of that, I mean, you need a break or two, but you make your breaks. And these are the playoffs. These games are super tight, and I anticipate it being the same way. But if the Oilers are to win, regardless of it's by one goal, multi-goal game for the first time in this series, they're going to need Skinner to be very, very good. No softies at all. And they're going to need the team to step up and be way better than it was in front of Calvin Pickard in Game 5. 780.
Well said, Tony.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. 780-218-9999. Or get at us in the nasty chat. I'm checking what's going on in the inbox. Let's go to Corey B. He says, I wish I could be there. Being nervous with everyone else. Have a great night. Everybody love everybody. Goyle. VR Montenegro is here. Rip City Step walked in. Lieutenant Eric is here. Cal in the Park and Sarah are here. And the Hudson's Bourbon Street location it's filling up. I see reservations on quite a few tables, to be honest with you. People finally starting to trickle their way in. It's a sunny Saturday. It was a sunny Saturday for the most part. Not the warmest May-long weekend. You know how it can be in Alberta. You can get really good weather, but most of the time it's disappointing. And it's been a little bit chilly, but we shall see if the Oilers can warm up the cockles of Alberta's heart. Let's go to Shaggy in St. Albert, who had a scathing text earlier for the Oilers. He says, prove my statement wrong, Oilers. Put up or shut up. Shaggy, you know I like that comment and statement, and I wanted to remind people of that. Thank you for texting that in. Shaggy follows up with, definitely start Skinner tonight. So when he gives up the usual questionable goals, you need to know that in the offseason you have to address your goalie needs. Skinner will be a good backup. Shaggy in St. Albert, not killing Skinner with kindness tonight. Spruce Grove Corey texting in says, tonight feels like the one big blowout game the Oilers haven't had yet this series. Smitty the Welder said, who's been the better goalie in the last two playoffs? Pickard, Campbell, then Skinner, way down the line. Smitty. This one from Coach Mike says, Oilers take it to 7 tonight. Expletive, expletive, expletive. Thank you, Coach Mike. Appreciate that. And thank you for letting me use the bleep button on the board, which I love to use as much as possible. Rob from LA says, sounds quiet there. Let's go. That's just good, Mike. Maybe it's, you know what, Rob? It might be nervous energy, but, you know, the vibe's all right in here. It is relatively full. The back room is open, and there's a few more tables and reservations being filled out right now. So people are tense. People are tense. That's for sure. You know Oil Country and how it can be. Let's go to Scalding Guard. Says, Oilers really need to win. I don't want Connor to go into year 10 and start hearing McDecade of darkness. You won't, Scalding Guard. You won't. All right. Speaking of Connor McDavid, let's hear from the captain as we head back into the Oilers locker room.
It's obviously a little difficult for him to come out, but focused on himself and being a good teammate. What did you kind of see from him the last few days, and your thoughts on him going back?
I thought he got back to work. Not to say that he wasn't working hard before, but saw him watching some video and working hard, at practice and stuff like that. So whenever he's doing that, I expect him to play well.
Tell me about, you do captain skates. You get here early. It's 82 games. It's a second round. Your entire season's on the line. What's it? What goes through your head when it boils down to this?
When you put it like that, it doesn't sound very good, but I think forgetting all that, it does, it's just another game. I shouldn't say it's just another game. Obviously, we know what's on the line, but ultimately, if you're carrying the weight of all that, I think you're not going to be able to play very well. So for us, going out, playing the game that we know how to, the game that we've played all year long, we're going to be just fine.
Can you maybe describe that game a little bit for us, Connor? Like, what's the right way to play against this team to ensure a better result?
I think for us, we got to play with pace. We got to play fast. When shifts get long, when we get stuck out there, I think, it's tough. When we keep shifts short, when we play with the speed that we can, we've shown an ability to tilt the rink on them and really hem them in at times and sustain pressure. So I think that's the key, playing with pace, getting on the forecheck, being a little bit simpler, getting through the neutral zone. The neutral zone's been a bit of an obstacle at times, and we got to get through there.
You have a couple of days here where the bulk of the big minute guys weren't on the ice. If you reflect back on that last game, do you feel like the reserves were a little bit low? And have the last couple of days been about getting them filled back up again where they need to be?
No, I don't think that's been the case. I think we didn't play our best game, and I thought they played real well in Game 5, and that's going to happen, obviously. That being said, Game 6, I think that we're going to play real well.
Kind of a weird one, but I mean, you guys all said you didn't feel like you played very well in Game 5, but they scored. You guys were right there, one shot away. Is there something to be said about being that close but not playing as well as you like, and knowing that if you play your best, probably some good things are going to happen?
I think being able to win with your B game. I mean, we talk about that a lot. Being able to win with your B game is important, and I feel like we did enough to be right there, as you said, but obviously not enough to win. And that's what we're here to do. So I would expect better tonight.
How do you think you and your line in particular how do you feel about the looks that you have been getting? Do you think there's some things you can do to try and get some more?
I liked our game a lot in Game 4. I thought we were all over it. I thought we, hemmed them in, had all the looks that we wanted, and then obviously in Game 5, I thought as a team, obviously our line, everything wasn't where it wanted to be, and yeah.
Does going through LA 2 years ago have any bearing on tonight whatsoever in terms of coming through a similar situation with a positive experience?
Yeah, of course you can draw on those experiences. That's always a good thing. Ultimately, it's not about winning 2 games. It's about just winning 1. I know that's all cliche, and I could stand up here and give you all the cliches you guys want to hear, but we got to win 1 game tonight, and that's just what it comes down to. And
All right, there is Connor McDavid, and it's do or die for the Edmonton Oilers. The teams have just hit the ice for warm-up. I can confirm the lineup for the Canucks for you. Miller between Suter and Besser. Lindholm with Höglander and Pettersson. Bluger between Joshua and Garland. Amon with Di Giuseppe and Podkolzin. On defense, Hughes with Hronek. Soucy with Myers. Zadorov with Cole. Arturs, Shilovs in net. For the Oilers, I don't have lines that have been put out there on X just yet. But I can tell you that Sam Carrick and Corey Perry are both taking warm-up. We'll see if there is a tweak to the lineup and Carrick does get in. All right, I've got them. Bob and Jack, the dynamic duo on Oilers Radio, have the lineup for you. Confirmed. McDavid between Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. Draisaitl centering Kane and Holloway. McLeod between Fogle and Ryan. Carrick with Janmark and Brown. It looks like Corey Perry could be out for this one. Defense, Ekholm with Bouchard, Nurse with Desharnais, Kulak with Ceci, and Skinner, your starting netminder for the Oilers, looking to atone for what has been a rough series for him. All right, keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999, and via the nasty chat, be nice to each other, ELE. Everybody love everybody, as the great Jackie Moon would say. YouTube Trev, where you at? Get up there, big boy.
I am right here, Tommy.
There you are. All right,
nice.
I'm going to hand off the rest of the show to you as I make my way down to Rogers Place for the game. Without further ado, the show is yours the rest of the way. Take it away, YouTube Trev.
Awesome.
Knock it out of the park, big boy.
Sweet. Thank you for that, Tommy. Safe travels on your way to Rogers Place. How's it going, everyone? My name is YouTube Trev. Thank you for tuning in to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Maybe you're listening to iTunes, maybe iHeartRadio, or maybe you're on YouTube. Thank you. We really appreciate it. If you are here on YouTube, as always, like what we like to say, subscribe and leave a like. We really appreciate it. So, what's the vibes? It's looking pretty good so far. I'm loving what I'm seeing on the nasty chat and on our text line. You can text us, as always, 780-218-9999. I love saying that. That's awesome. Doofishp, she's already in there saying, what a weird name. YouTube, first name YouTube, she says. That's awesome for Doofish P. Yeah, no, this is great, guys. I'm going to start a poll, get us started with a poll, then we will go into the locker room. There's only Tyler Myers from the Vancouver Canucks, so I do want to hear from Tyler Myers because it's good. It's good insight to hear what those guys have to say. But my poll, what I'm going to start right now, who would you have started in net for the Oilers tonight in Game 6? I know, Tommy, we're kind of on the same theme here with our question of the night. He asked, how much faith do you have in Stuart Skinner ahead of tonight's game? I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Who would you have played tonight, Stuart Skinner or Calvin Pickard? That poll is now up, so if you're listening just on EdmontonSportsTalk.com or tune in, feel free to chime in on the YouTube chat. Let's see, it's 64% already for Stuart Skinner. So, oh wow, that seems to be the consensus as of right now, but we will look into that a little bit later. I said at the beginning of the show, I kind of wanted to say why I would have picked Skinner or Pickard. I'm selecting Pickard right now. That's who I voted, and it's funny because obviously you got Cass saying Skinner. He played in the show and he made it, so obviously he knows a lot more than I do, right? And it's funny arguing with a guy that's played in the NHL, but I just, why do you take Stuart Skinner out of the game? Because he wasn't playing good. He simply lost the crease because of his play. Can you say the same for Calvin Pickard? I personally don't think you can. I thought he played fine. So I don't know why you're taking a guy out who was playing good. It doesn't quite make sense to me. I thought he looked quite a bit better than Stuart Skinner. And it's just the fact that he did nothing to lose the crease. Like, I thought he played good, even above average, maybe even better than good. So I am surprised by this. We have seen at times Stuart Skinner, as far as pressure goes, he fumbles under the pressure. He does. And so it's going to be interesting to see, because in saying that, he has also done really well after games where he's kind of, crapped the bed. He's looked pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. But those are my reasonings. As Dusty and Lieutenant Eric like to say on the morning show, show your work. That's me showing my work. I just think Calvin Pickard, he played great, and he should have. He didn't lose the net. He didn't play bad. So why are they taking him out? That's my reasoning. I'm just confused why they're doing that. So I'll leave it at that. It looks like Skinner is actually, that's the general consensus. It's looking like 48 votes so far, and Stuart Skinner has 51% of the voting. So let's dive into the nasty chat. What are we saying right now? YTT, see you guys. That's good. You love to see it. Everyone vote. Joel, I support that. Yeah, everyone go give it a vote. Let's see what this is. We got a lot of Let's Go Oilers chat, what you like to see. Let's take a look at the text line here. Any questions? If you have any questions, fire away. I love to answer some of your questions for sure. Let's go Kane, baby. That's a good one. Let's get a skinny Winnie or Vinny Winnie tonight. You love to see it. That would be nice to see when they do that fun little celebration. We got Cal in the park. Tommy, you need a sign that says "not the host." Okay, yeah, that's a good one from Cal in the park. And then we got Frithy texting in saying all we want is Sam Gagner, which is also it's interesting. Tommy said the lines right before he left onto Rogers Place. It is tough. It is a tough pill to swallow. Obviously, growing up, Sam Gagner was a player that I thoroughly enjoyed watching, and I still do. We talked about it when his first game this season against the Dallas Stars, he scored 2 goals. I'm not saying that would be the case, but I definitely think a spark would be, you enter Sam Gagner into the lineup. I think that's a spark that he can rally the troops as well. So I don't mind that at all. But yeah, guys, let's go into the lineup here quickly. Tyler Myers, I want to hear what the Vancouver Canucks defenseman Tyler Myers has to say ahead of tonight's Game 6 matchup. Here he is.
You don't get to feed off your home crowd. They're going to feed off of it tonight. But for us, I've been saying it all series. It's, we're focused on our game, the mindset we need coming into Game 6. and trying to close it out. We know we're going to get their best, and we have to be at ours. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about their best, you guys saw it from Connor in Game 2. You've kept him quiet for 3 games. What's his best look like, and how do you defend it?
You know he's going to try and pick up speed. He's been doing it all series. I think the guys have done a great job of being aware when he's on the ice, and just making sure you're trying to take his time and space away so he can't wind it up.
You guys have done a pretty good job of winning these 1-goal games. Have you guys gotten into that mindset now, Tyler, that every game is going to be like that close?
Yeah. It's two good teams going at it. Every game's been tight. We expect the same tonight, and we just have to make sure that we keep pushing, whether we're down or we're up or it's tied. It's the same approach going into every shift.
I'm sure you don't want to have to try to kill 5 penalties again, but how much confidence can you guys take from the success you had shorthanded last game?
Yeah, like you said, you want to try and stay out of the box as much as possible. But we liked our kill last game. We'll take a look at it, to see where we can improve still. But I think we were making good reads last game of when to pressure and when not to. We didn't try and force the pressure, which was good, and something to build off of.
About, they'll have that Game 7 urgency, as they like to say. How do you manufacture it?
As the series goes on, the desperation comes more. It comes more and more. They're facing elimination, so they're going to be as desperate as we've seen, and we have to be as hungry as we've been to try and close it out. We have a chance to do it on the road, which is always fun. Do it in front of a different crowd. But it's going to be tight out there, and we're going to have to work for every inch.
Did you learn anything from losing an elimination opportunity in Game 5 in the last series?
I think there's a lot to learn from as you go along here. The further you go, you have to stay patient. You can't open the game up. You have to stay hungry and make sure that you're still pushing and confident to attack. Don't sit back and hope it happens. And that's a lot of the mindset coming.
There we go. That is Tyler Myers for the Vancouver Canucks. Him and his team look to eliminate the Edmonton Oilers tonight, and it's almost that time, actually. It's 5 minutes away from puck drop, which is nice. Can we acknowledge the fact that this is way better? Usually the pregame show wouldn't have even started by now. So, it's certainly nice. And I Tommy and I were talking about it like, it's still sunny out when we can watch a game. So it's a sight for sore eyes, if you will. That was him ahead of tonight's game. Let's quickly look in the nasty chat. It seems to be buzzing as well. A lot of excitement coming in. So you love to see it. Dooffish P, she's saying, see you post game, either rage or joy. That certainly has been the case. It's going to be, I'm fascinated to see what's going to happen tonight. And in saying that, I do want to take the quick time to just say thank you to Matt Kassian, to Sean Bell, to Joaquin Gage, Tom Gazzola, Dustin Nielsen, Matt Iwanek, and Zach to come, everyone who stepped in for the pregame show and postgame. It's been a great year. I've thoroughly loved what I'm doing and learning from some real pros. I'm not going to lie. I think it was Chief Andy saying, Trev seems a little nervous. He's been stuttering on his words a lot today. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, okay? And that's the thing. These guys make it look so easy. It's so easy to trip up on your words, and then it's kind of a snowball effect. When that happens, I'm like, no, we're getting there, and thank you guys for being patient with me. I like to think that I've gotten a little bit better since I first started. Definitely listening back on the first pregame, I was saying a lot of, just weird things, and my thoughts weren't as clear and concise. I think and Box Pounder in already saying, great job, YTT. So that's awesome. You love to hear it. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about the Oilers. And certainly one thing I would love to see for them, from them tonight is don't beat yourselves. We've talked about this at length, it seems, a lot recently. It's just the Oilers, they haven't put together a full 60. I think everyone can agree on that. And they are making mistakes, and it's little mistakes. You look at a team like you could get away with that maybe if you're playing the Chicago Blackhawks or the Columbus Blue Jackets, but this is a playoff team. The Oilers are wanting to obviously win the cup, and if you can't have little mistakes. If you do, a team like the Vancouver Canucks are certainly going to capitalize on that, and that's kind of what we're seeing. You look at the one play, I think it was Game 2, Warren Foegele. He gives the puck away. What happens? The Vancouver Canucks, they react on that super quick. You look at it last game even, Evan Bouchard as well. So no little mistakes. No mistakes in general. Just try and have a complete 60. If you question a pass, it's probably not a good pass. So I don't recommend you doing it. So that's something they've been really good at. It was kind of just last game. They've had some blunders. So that'll be interesting to see. They need to be better on the power play. Gaffar, we had him on. He said they're probably not going to go over in this game if they do go on the power play again. So you like to think that they will be better. Obviously, the Oilers fans are going to be rallying them. I like to think that their chances are good to at least get a goal. So those are two things I'm certainly going to be watching for tonight. And then just depth or lack thereof. It was nice to see Matthias Janmark get a goal the other day, but you're going to need a guy like Ryan McLeod. Have you waken up yet? It's playoffs, and you have yet to register a point. So guys like that, they need to chip in, and it's do or die tonight. They really have to. So that's pretty well all I got for the pregame show. It looks like we're 2 minutes away from puck drop. Well, probably 10 minutes, but that's I'm going to wrap up here, guys, if that's okay with you. I certainly just want to say thank you for all the continued support. You guys are absolute beauties and nasties. I'm going to cue the music right now. This has been a lot of fun, and it's a work in progress. I'm trying to get better. I will be better. I can be better. ELE, everyone love everyone, as Tommy likes to say. We will see you in the postgame show here on Edmonton Sports Talk, the GCL Diesel postgame show. We can't wait to have you. It's going to be awesome. It's either going to be really amazing or it's going to be it's going to be not amazing. So that's all I got for you guys tonight. Thank you for tuning in. From Matt Kassian, from Tom Gazzola, Gaffar, I am YouTube Trev. Thank you for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. See you on the postgame show. Ciao for now.